Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, quick heads up. We are not going to be working on episode 4 today. I have a couple of reasons for that. Number one, as you know, I am a teacher full-time, a math teacher full-time, and I teach online. And it's been a crazy week with the weather and everything else, with kids being out, with us being out, internet problems and things like that. So I got behind in my real job. So I had to kind of put things on the table and kind of like wait until I got everything straightened out with work. And then I came back to this. Now, number two, I know that you know that I put out a video last week on making mistakes. And I've gotten a lot of comments, and thank you so much for all your comments. I really, really do appreciate those. I got some really good vibes from them. No negative comments, which is wonderful. I appreciate that. But I had some suggestions. So I started looking at the block, and I want to show you some things that I found. And I am going to be redesigning, not really redesigning, but just refining the pattern for you. And for those of you who are new, I drew up a pattern a couple of weeks ago, and I offered it online. The pattern's still good because all it is just the barn. I mean, not the barn quilt, but all it is just the layout of a log cabin. So the pattern's still good. So no worries about that. So everything that you have downloaded so far, continue to utilize that. Now, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put it up here because I don't want to pan out and do another, section of the video. I just want to put it up here, and I want to talk to you about it. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to see with this is the one that I actually followed the pattern on. And I really liked it, except that I found a mistake. And there were a lot of people that came back and said, well, that one wasn't bothersome to them. It was the other one that was the top part of the light blue that was bothersome to everybody. And you know what? I never saw that. It never dawned on me that that would be it. And so I started looking at it, and I said, well, you know what? I can see where that would be an issue for some, and that's okay. Again, remember this is your quilt. It's nobody else's. So if you're happy with the way that it is keep it. I actually was not going to change it. I was going to leave it alone. However, I have to tell you that there was another problem that arose. And this happens when you are designing your own project, okay? When you get a pattern that you already have, that you purchased, most often, there might be a couple of mistakes on it, but the author probably found those mistakes and fixed it, and then let everybody know who purchased it through, YouTube or through email or whatever, that the pattern was corrected, okay? The issue with this one wasn't necessarily the fact that I did not like the quilt block. And I mentioned in the other video that I was going to leave it alone. I wasn't going to change it. But guess what? I ran out of the dark blue. That was, I think, the last block, or the last strip, number 12. I didn't have enough to be able to do all three. Now, that's an issue that I need to fix in my own way whenever I am designing patterns. But, for people, for customers, and for, people that I want to teach. And maybe I should have gone in and checked it all out. But again, as you're designing, and I wanted you to see what it's like to design something as you go, that posed a problem. So I decided, okay, let me just pull that out, and I was going to replace it. And then I thought, well, while I'm doing that, I might as well go ahead and replace that one strip that I was not happy with, the one on the bottom that had the plaids on it. Okay, so I wasn't happy with it. So I decided, well, if I'm pulling things out, I might as well go ahead and pull that out. And that's what I did. So that also brought me to the fact that I started thinking about it, and I decided that since I didn't have enough of the blue, that I decided instead of the 3 rounds that I would just do the 2 rounds. And that still works out really well, and it doesn't matter with the download that I gave you. So you would just stop at 9 instead of 12. Okay, I think it's 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so you would stop at 8 and and not put the 9 on there. So that's what I did. Okay, so that part is fixed, and I'm going to show that to in episode 4 when I get them all ready. But another thing that I found, I wanted to go back and I wanted to look at that one piece that everybody else was commenting, which was the light blue, and you're going to see it all up there in the picture. I'm going to keep it going as I'm talking about it, so you'll see what I'm talking about. So one of the things that you should do, and I learned this from a lady who owned a yarn shop downtown. Well, still owns it. And at the time, I went down to see her and I wanted to buy some wool yarn. That's when I first started hooking rugs, and I wanted wool. And being in Florida, it's very, very difficult to find wool. So I went to her and I said, okay, do you have any wool at all? She did have some, but a lot of it was, what is it called? Super fast or super something. I'll put it down here. I can't remember what it's called right now. I know I'm jumping from quilting to yarn, but I wanted to tell you that this technique that she showed me is fantastic for doing it on quilts as well. And I'll show it up there as well as it's streaming. I was having a problem trying to find yarns that would go and that would actually show a contrast whenever I hooked everything. And she showed me, well, I do this whenever I'm teaching any yarn knitting classes or crochet classes, but I also use it whenever I'm just looking at it myself. She said to get your camera and take a picture of it. And once you take a picture of that, get the yarns that you want to use and put them all out together. Take the picture, and then when you go and open it up on your camera, on your phone, go to black and white. If you go to black and white and there is not enough contrast, or if there's too much of a contrast, it will show. And then you will know if these are the colors that you want to do. So as I thought about that, I went back and I took a picture of the original one with the 12 blocks or the 12 strips, and I took a picture of it, and I'm going to put it up here for you to look at it. It is amazing what it showed. So yes, I took that one part out, but the little light blue that some of my readers, or not readers, but my community came back and said in my comments, said, well, that was the one that was problematic. And look at it. You can see that there is an issue. Now, not so much of an issue that you should pull it out. It wasn't that big of an issue for the other one. But if you are going to be a perfectionist and want to do this the correct perfectionist way, then go ahead and pull it out. To me, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to pull it out. But this is such a fantastic way of finding out whether or not your colors are going to blend, or if one's going to overtake the other, or if they're going to blend so much that you won't be able to see the contrast that you want. Fantastic. So let me reiterate what you do is you put all of your yarns, all of your fabrics together, lay them out. And I guess I should have done this whenever I first started. Lay them all out, take a picture. Once you have the picture, go to black and white, put it as far over to the right. On mine, it's to the right. You take a picture then you look at it in black and white. And I'm going to show you up here what I'm talking about. When you have that, if there's too much of a contrast, or if there's not enough of a contrast, then you'll know. So basically, to be honest with you, I should have done that at the very beginning. So as I continue on my quilting journey, or not even just my quilting journey, anything, embroidery, barn quilts, that's a good one, rug punch, wool applique, all of that will help you decide on the colors that you're using and to see if it's going to blend or if it's going to contrast or if it's going to, if one's going to, take over the other one and you're not going to be able to see it very well. That's a perfect way to do it. So, that's all I have to tell you on the quilt project that we're working on right now. Now, don't worry. Episode 4 is coming, and if you would make sure that I've gotten a lot of people that have put a little comment and said, well, is there another episode to this, or where's the other one, or should I, can I email you to get the other one? So if you subscribe to my channel, and I'm not trying to get you to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. Just keep a watch on my my channel so that you can come back every so often and see where all the episodes are. But if you would subscribe to it, then when I upload it, it will automatically go to you and it will say, oh, Goldenrod Primitives has added another video. And then you'll know which one it is. It'll say session 4 or series 3 or whatever, so that you won't miss anything. So don't forget to subscribe, okay? That would be perfect. It'll help grow my channel, but it'll also help you so that whenever I am sending things out or when I give you a digital product, a free digital product, you won't miss out. And believe me, I'm going to be giving out digital products. I believe that is, if you're going to do a tutorial, you've got to have something that somebody can go with and look at it. So anyway, let me recap on this, and then I'm going to go to something else. So recapping, go to session 1, and that talks about all the different fabrics that I used, and I actually draw out the log cabin strips and number them out and explain that. You can do that no matter what you're doing. If you are not a customer, but if you're a community member who is not from the United States and doesn't want to do it in red, white, and blue for the 4th of July celebration, then again, don't forget, you can do it any colors you want to, as long as you have some darker colors, some lighter colors, and then one in the middle. Okay, so that's for episode number 1. Episode number 2 is where I actually put the block together so you can see it, and it's kind of a long video. So that's episode number 2. Episode number 3 is my mistake that I made whenever I was showing you how I did it and what I didn't like about it. And then that's when people came in and said, well, yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it. Or, yeah, you know what? The one that's problematic to me is the light blue one. And that's where I am now. I should have shown the little thing on the taking a picture of it in that video, but I completely forgot about it. And then I got to thinking, I got to find a way of looking at this. And that's when I went in and thought about it. And I said, oh, duh, Gestalt. I couldn't believe that I didn't remember that. And I took a picture of it and it shows it, perfectly where the mistake is. So if that's bothersome to you, when you go in and start putting things together, if you're following with the Stars and Stripes or whatever, choose the fabrics better than what I did. Okay? All right. Okay. So what I would like to do is I would like to share with you some books that I use. Now, this is more for the beginners, but not necessarily. There are a lot of seasoned quilters who love books. You should see my library. I've already showed it to you, but I have another room with all kinds of books. So I went in there and I started throwing some things together. So let me grab these books. Now, what inspired me for the log cabin? So as you know, at the very beginning of the year, I had said that I wanted to get ready for the 4th of July birthday party for America. And so I wanted to come up with some ideas and some different things to decorate our homes for the 4th of July. And that's where the log cabin came in. And that's why I am, doing it in red, white, and blue. Okay. Now, one of the things that made me want to do the log cabin is because actually I love the log cabin. I just think it's the coolest block, but also the historical value on it. Now, you can read up and you can research the log cabin, but two of the books that I have bought that I absolutely love is about the Civil War. Now, I do know that the log cabin is mentioned in the folklore about being safe. If it's a red center, then what it said was this is a safe place for all of us. And everyone is welcome. If it had a dark center, then that meant that when I say dark, I mean black. If it had a black center, then that meant that people were supposed to go around and not go to this place because this is not a safe place. Now, well, we all know the story about the Underground Railroad, but this is a book that just really dives into it and shows all the different samplers that are used. And this is called all the different, I'm sorry, not samplers, but blocks that are used. And then, of course, this is called the Underground Railroad Sampler. And it's by Eleanor Burns and Sue Bouchard. And this is a quilt in a day. So fantastic book. I love, love, love this book. So another one that talked about the log cabin a lot was the Civil War Sampler. Okay. And it's chronicled by Quilters Hands. And this is a 50 quilt blocks with stories from history. So it talks about all the different samplers, has stories behind it. And I love history. My daughter has a degree in history and she's a historian. And it's just absolutely amazing to me about quilts and how it came about. And on page 60, there's the log cabin. So anyway, fantastic book. If you want to grab that one to put into your library, fantastic. And I bought both of these. Other one that I got, and I'd have to tell you that I did not purchase this one. My mother-in-law gave this to me when she went into an assisted living. She had to get rid of a lot of her things. When I say get rid, she had to rehome everything. And because she went from a 3-bedroom into a 1-bedroom assisted living, and you know how that is. So she knows how I am about quilting and about crafting and things like that. And in fact, I'm the one that got her in it. And so she gave me this book. It's called The Quilter's Bible. I love this book. It has so many ideas. It has applique in it. It's by Linda Clements. And it's a beautiful book. So, it tells you it gives you different ideas, the techniques, it gives you templates, it gives you, how to form pleats, how to square up, the difference between just a regular applique and an underturn applique, I believe that's called, and then just your applique for wool. And that's what I'm going to be teaching, or I'm going to be not really teaching, but share with you. Wonderful book. I'm so appreciative that she rehomed this book with me. And so I'm going to put the description below. And if you want me to go through it a little bit more, don't forget to just put it in the chat box and just say book. And then beside it, tell me which one you want me to go over. I don't want to go over each one of them because, number one, copyright. I don't want to take it away from, I will, obviously say who the author is and everything, but I'm not going to share, lots of quotes and things like that, but I will share different pages and things with you if you would like for me to do that. So then you can make a decision of whether or not you want to go ahead and purchase it. Okay, one more on quilt blocks. Now, guess where I got this one? I don't even know if this one is still in published. If it's still in circulation, that's what you call it. If it's still in circulation, it's a Better Homes and Gardens. I got this one at the Quilt Guild meeting one day. And, you know, a lot of ladies will bring in, or a lot of quilters, not just ladies, because there are a lot of men quilters as well. So a lot of the quilters came in and they put things on a table and say, this is the free table, so go and grab it. When I saw that, honey, I got up and I went over there and I grabbed this book faster than anybody could shake a leg. I told them, I said, that one's mine. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. So anyway, this one, I absolutely love it. Now, I love it for two reasons, and this is going to be my transition from quilting to barn quilts, okay? So this one has a lot of quilt blocks in it. And it tells you, of course, it also has applique and stuff like that in it, but it has the different quilt blocks, gives you ideas about how to do things and how to draw them out and how to place them and how to do that. This is a great book. It's called 501 Quilt Blocks, a treasury of patterns for patchwork and applique, and it's Better Homes and Garden. I don't know when look at the inside. Isn't that just so cool? You just could look at that and not even look at anything else and get an inspiration out of it. So this is really good. I don't know what the copyright is on it. Let me see what date it is. Let me put my glasses on. 1994. I'm sure it's probably still in circulation. You might have to get it from eBay. I don't know if you can get it on Amazon. I'll go and look and see, and if there is one, I'll put the link below. But go to eBay. I get a lot of used books and pre-owned books from eBay, and it's a great place. When I was in the university, I would go online and go to eBay and see if I could find my textbooks on there. I buy all of my textbooks. I never rented a textbook. I wanted to keep them. I'm a hoarder when it comes to books. Okay, so that's one for quilt block. Now let me talk about this one. 5,500 quilt block designs. Now, again, if you are into just quilting with cloth, this is absolutely phenomenal. Kind of tells you, I mean, look at all of these. It's just filled, 5,500. And the good thing about it is, like this page right here tells you when you start to make your pattern, do you need to have, how many squares do you need? Do you need 4 squares? Do you need 9 squares? Do you need 12 squares? What do you need in order to be able to lay out this block? Okay. Fantastic book. Now, I bought this book when I was really, really into barn quilting. Well, I'm still into barn quilting. And I'm going to, when I get finished with this series on the log cabin, my next series is going to be on barn quilts. And I will take you around, show you the 3 foot by 3 foot that I have on the side of our barn. I'll show you the 3 that I've got. Well, in fact, I don't know if I turn this way. There you go. See, there's 2 of them. There's that one down there, and there's this one up here. That one right here, the blue one, the blue and green one, that was the very first barn quilt I ever did. And I'll explain a little bit more about that one when it comes to that particular series. I have a story about that one. But anyway, that's a fantastic book. You could use this book, again, for quilting with cloth. You can use it for barn quilts. You can use it for rugs. You can use it. This is a fantastic book for patterns that has to do with quilt blocks. And you can use it for anything, cross-stitching. I mean, it's not going to tell you how many, little squares you need to cross-stitch it over. But if you have an eye to be able to see it, then you can do it. And this is a great book. This is by Maggie Malone. And I got this one. I can't remember if I got it off of Amazon or eBay. This is 2003, so it's a little bit newer than the other one. So this one might still be available. And you know what? If I did get it on Amazon, you know how Amazon sometimes has used books? That's where I got it, okay? So that's that one. Now, the last one I want to share with you, and if you're still with me, I know a lot of you are saying, why is she doing all of this? I want to share what I have, again, for newbies, okay? People that have always wanted to go into quilting, but were a little scared to do it and thinking it was harder to do and that they wouldn't be able to do it. And that's the reason I wanted to go into barn quilts next time, because barn quilts to me I thought to myself, I will never, ever be able to do that. And I'll guarantee you it is not as difficult. Now, it's tedious, don't get me wrong. It is tedious, but it is so much fun. And I went in and found out a new project that I want to share with you next time, or when I start talking about the series, about doing a barn quilt on wood using fabric. How do you do that? I saw it today while I was actually at the dentist office. Before I have to go to work, I was, at the dentist office, and I was looking at it and I said, oh my gosh, that is such a cool idea. And then I got called in and then I have to go back and read it. But anyway, I had to share that. I had to share that with you. So I hope you're still with me, but if you're not, I understand. Okay. So before I go on with the last book, I just wanted to remind you that I do have a small e-commerce store called Goldenrod Primitives, and that's where you go in and get all of the digital products that I give to you, and you go into my site and you log in. And I know that you're using it because I have like 86 people who have downloaded my first 2 free downloadables, and I'll put the links down here. You can go in there and you can get them. The first one was about, what was the first one? Oh, it was about putting all your quilt blocks, and what are some of the things that you could do with those orphan blocks that you've put together over the years. My second one was actually the log cabin. My next one is going to be on barn quilts, and so that one will be coming up. But always check at the bottom in my description to see if I've got any free downloadables for you, because they're free. You can use them personally. Don't sell them or anything like that. There is copyright on them for that. But you can share them with your friends if you want to. Just don't sell them, okay? And they're free. And I hope you go on and get them. Now, this is the last one that I wanted to share with you. And it's called Following the Barn Quilt Trail. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more when we start the series. But this is the lady that I went to see, and I went to her class to learn how to do barn quilts. I did not know about barn quilts. I mean, it was just something that I started looking at, and I said, this is really kind of cool. And when they had the lady come to the class, come to our quilt guild, and when Susie Perrin came, I purchased her book, and I learned how to do it. And that one over there, the one that I showed you, is the one that I did while we were there. I did have a little bit of a tiff with her because I told her, she was telling me that I was picking out, this is called the Amish, the Amish something. I'll have to look up the name of it. And I looked at it and I said, oh, I want to do that one. Because she gave us like 5 to choose, or 10 to choose from. And she got that one. And she said, I don't know, that one's pretty hard. You really don't need to do that one. And I said, well, I think I can do it. I said, I'm a geometry teacher. And I said, and I can see the lines, and I can see, how to do it. And she said, well, I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to do it. Well, knowing me, I said, okay, if you can't tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And I did. And it was really, really nice. My son-in-law he's a wonderful, wonderful artisan, and I'll share his link with you one day. Whenever I'm talking about this, I'll share his link. And he gave me a really, really good suggestion on how to get the paints from stopping and not bleeding and everything. So I'll share that with you. But oh my gosh, I fell in love with barn quilts. But this is so very cool. Now, every time I go up north, now there's not as many down here, although in my area, we did start one with the Quilt Guild, and we did start doing a barn quilt trail. There's one in mid-Florida that is around the Gainesville area that there's a barn quilt trail there as well. There was a wonderful quilt shop there, but she closed down after the hurricane hit one time, and she didn't open back up. And then, of course, now up north, they are just everywhere. And when I go to visit my daughter in Philadelphia, well, she's in New Jersey now, but when I go and visit her and we start to, travel around and everything, and that's what I do. I just look around and say, there's a barn quilt, there's a barn quilt, there's a barn quilt. And I try to take pictures of it. And it is just so cool. It just gives you something really cool to do. When my husband and I went to Alaska this fall, or not this fall, this summer, when I was up in Alaska, there were actually some barn quilts on the sides of buildings there. And that was just really cool, thinking that it's gotten all the way up there. So I'm curious to see. Let me know in the comments if you have barn quilts anywhere near you. And when we get to talking about the series a little bit more, we'll talk more about those. But anyway, I got to go. I got to get to work. I took the morning off, and now I have to get to work, and I have to get those babies to doing their math problems and math work. I say babies, they're high schoolers, and they just, we had that really bad weather, and so everybody is kind of like either without electricity or internet or whatever. But a lot of times, being online, a lot of times the kids will use that as an excuse for a snow day. And I say, guys, you don't get a snow day. You're at home. But anyway, if their internet is working, they're working. So I guess I better go. It's been great talking to you. Don't forget, it's Goldenrod Primitives. And I'm so glad you joined me today. And again, I apologize for the fourth series, but I think you can relate to it. One of the things, and I will say this and then I'll stop. One of my commenters, one of the ladies said, I am so glad you are showing the things that you're showing, because it shows me that there is kind of like an overwhelming feeling when you're trying to learn how to do something new. And when I see all of these things online, and this is one of the things, when you see things online and you say, oh my God, that's perfect, I'll never be able to do that. Well, believe me, when they're doing those, you're seeing the end product. You're not seeing all of the parts where they pulled things out and they didn't match, and they didn't see the issue that I'm showing you. They didn't see that, but you don't see those in those end videos. You see these beautiful, quilts and thinking, oh my gosh, those are just beautiful, and I'll just never be able to do it. And you know what? Yeah, you will. You can do it. So I'll see you in the next one, and you guys have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.